everyone. Welcome to C.A.R.S. Today I'm going to be trying something a little different, going along with the theme of the video from last time where I spoke about special financing deals at the 0% APR. Well, today I'm going to be focusing on deals on new vehicles that are exceptionally low priced. So I'm going to do a quick comparison of an especially low priced vehicle, in this case the Dodge Hornet, and that will be in comparison to the Ford Maverick, and that goes along with my Ford Maverick. And if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I have a 2024 Ford Maverick, and I often talk about features of the Maverick, gas mileage, purchasing, ordering, and various other things related to the Ford Maverick. So that's why I'm doing that comparison. And depending on how this video does, I might make this a regular feature where I am going to be discussing great deals that I have found online. Even though I am personally not in the market for another vehicle, this may be helpful to somebody out there. All right, well, let's take a look at cars.com. Now, I found similar results with Auto Trader's website, but for simplicity and consistency, I decided to use cars.com today. This is not sponsored in any way. It is just what was convenient and worked for my format. All right, now, notice here the MSRP for a new Dodge Hornet within all miles of the zip code that I have selected here. It shows with the lowest price sort. You can sort by a variety of different options, but I chose lowest price. There is one listed here for $16,305. Now, I personally am a bit suspicious of this. It is showing it's in Seattle, Washington, and incidentally, I did find the same price listed with Auto Trader, as well as the cars.com here. But with it being half the price, in fact less than half the price of the MSRP, it does make me wonder, was it damaged in some way off the truck? What's going on? I looked into it and I didn't find anything that was glaring at me, other than one listing seemed to list it much higher, more like the MSRP. So I would say if anybody is wanting to get an extremely low priced new vehicle, do your due diligence. None of these are recommended by me as a guarantee in any way. This is just showing you what's out there in case you're wanting a vehicle that's way below MSRP and this happened to come up in an online live chat with another channel. And I thought, hey, you know what? Dodge Hornet, great deal. Let's check it out for myself and maybe share this with my viewers. So here you are. Okay, now something that's perhaps more realistic, perhaps better condition, are these here for about $21,500. Still way below the MSRP, but from what I've heard, the Dodge Hornets have been selling not so well. Some of the initial ones had issues with software, but the vehicle itself, from what I can tell, is a pretty decent vehicle. Many Dodge owners were looking for V8s, high horsepower, muscle cars, those sorts of things, and this is kind of the opposite of that. It's a 4-cylinder. It even has a hybrid option, and it's kind of the opposite of what people are looking for when it comes to a Dodge. Dodge evidently thought they could do really well with getting into the compact SUV market, and that's a great idea, but Dodge owners, if they're going to buy a Dodge, they generally want something high horsepower. So anyhow, with the software issues and the 4-cylinder engine, even though it seems like it's a decent vehicle, it wasn't selling so well. So I think that's why these are selling so far below MSRP. That's what I'm hearing, and that's what I am coming to the conclusion of myself. But judge for yourself, do your own research. So even scrolling way down this list, you can see there are many that are far below MSRP. Like even here, above 40,000 MSRP for 22,640. And that's in the Seattle market. So it's not like this is some way out in the who knows where location. This is a major market. So that's an interesting situation. Let's take a look at some additional results here. Okay, so continuing down, and this is just a public web page, so you're going to see these advertisements come up and everything else, but there are a lot here. Regardless of the MSRP, there's a lot that are way below that MSRP and are in the low to mid 20,000s. So if you're wanting a new vehicle and you don't mind having something that's not very popular and that may need to have some bugs worked out of the software, maybe it needs a software update, maybe there's going to be a manufacturer campaign or recall on some of that, but you're willing to put up with it in order to save $5,000 or $10,000 or more, I would say look into it. But again, do your due diligence. Now, in comparison, here's a very popular vehicle, the Ford Maverick, that can still be hard to get a hold of these days. Now, this is searching across the nation, all distances from this zip code that I put in here. And that being the case, it came up with over 10,000 matches. That's a good sign because that tells you there are some Ford Mavericks out there. But if you look, going with the lowest price, again, this is lowest dollar amount, not lowest below the MSRP. So you're going to have mixed results. Some are maybe right up below the MSRP. Others may actually be at or above the MSRP. Let's find out. Okay, so here, almost the MSRP, a couple thousand below. This one is like 1,200 below MSRP. About the same thing here. So that goes to show it's not just some fluke on cars.com. It is vehicle specific. This one, about $500 below MSRP. And this is going by the cheapest Mavericks out there, lowest cost Mavericks you can get. If I keep scrolling down, it's looking like overall the Mavericks tend to be right around that MSRP. And I've heard plenty of stories of Mavericks being sold for more than MSRP. I've read or heard about that. I'm sure you have as well if you are looking for a Maverick. Okay, bear in mind some of these may not even have arrived at the dealership yet. Usually if you see this sort of virtual symbol, AI symbol if you want to call it that, in the background where it shows it looks like a Ford rail car, that generally means it either has not arrived yet or has just arrived and the official photos are not on the dealer website. So just be aware of those things when you're doing your searches. But as you can see, these tend to sit right around MSRP at the lowest, and it's a big contrast compared to these Dodge Darts where I can go way down this page and I'm still seeing it, in this case, more than $6,000, more than $8,000 in fact, below the MSRP. So very interesting. So there are great deals out there, but if you're willing to get something that's less popular and may need some software updates or whatever, you can get a good price for a vehicle. So dollar amount wise, those Dodge Darts, I want to say Dart. That's an old vehicle. Dodge Hornets. They are ending up being about the same cost with a GT version in this case, all-wheel drive, as essentially a bare bones Ford Maverick XL. So depends on what your priorities are, what you need. Anyhow, thank you all for listening to this video. I hope it was helpful in some way, and you all have a great rest of your day.